Okay, so rational numbers. Can somebody remind us what are rational numbers? Eric?
It's a number that can be written as a fraction in an infinite box.
Okay, so fractions. Fractions of integers, that's one. What's another? What about decimals? What about the decimal? Yep. Terminating or repeating. Good. Okay, so the three ways to tell that it's a rational numbers. So example 1 right here, write 3 rational numbers between each pair. So in between negative 3.26 and 1.25, I can just choose any terminating decimal. Anyone? Okay. Claire? Oh, sorry. Wait. No, you're not Claire. Yes, you are. Yeah, Claire. So, oh, sorry. So where's Claire? Where's Claire? Oh. Sorry. Sophia? Yeah, any in between these two. 1.24. Yeah, you can do 1.24. Can you do 0? Is 0 rational? Yeah, it's a whole, it's an integer, it's rational. Yeah, all these. Anything in between those two. What about this one? In between negative 0.25 and negative 0.26. Vincent? Yeah. Okay, right in the middle of them. Okay. You can always add in more digits as long as it's still a terminating decimal. Okay. Another one could be negative 0.2511, for example. 1. I can have that. Or make it more interesting, repeating one. Okay. Remember, repeating is also a rational. What about between negative a half and positive a quarter? Okay, put up your hand if you have an idea. Okay, Eric?
Negative 1/4.
Yeah, good. Negative 1/4. That's a good one. I like to go with the easy ones. So 0 is another one. Now you have a positive and a negative numbers. So in between them it has to be 0. Okay, and then lastly, what about negative negative a half and negative a quarter? Vincent? Minus 1/3. Okay. Another thing you could do is change this into yes. Okay. You could change these to a, if you don't see it right away, you can change these to a decimal. So that's negative 0.5 and this is negative 0.25. So in between them, you can see that negative 0.3333. That's in between them. Okay. You could do negative 0.4. You can do all that. So these are just all examples. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Example 2. Ordering rational numbers in decimals or fraction form. So use the number line, order these numbers from least to greatest. So as simple as it seems with a number line, I know you guys have been drawing number lines since grade 4 because you guys don't always draw it. People forget how to draw. Okay. So 0 in the middle, positive numbers on this side. So my biggest number is 2.5. So let's spread it out. So 1, 2, 3. My lowest number is negative 3.2. So again, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Okay. If you use a ruler, great. If you didn't, it's okay. It's just a number line. So I don't need the line to be straight, but I want to at least see that between each number, it's about the same interval. Okay. So 0.35. where between which two numbers is it? Yeah, between 0 and 1. So around right here, a little closer to 0, so 0.35. 2.5. Right in between 2 and 3. So right in the middle, so 2.5. Negative 0.6. So it's between 0 and negative 1. Closer to negative 1. So about right here. 1.7. 1.7 is between 1 and 2, closer to 2. Okay. Negative 3.2. Negative 3.2 is between negative 3 and negative 4. So about right here. And then lastly, negative 0.6. Negative 0.6 is, oh, should I put it to is it to the left of the point or to the right of the point? Negative 0.6666666. Sophia? Yeah, left. Because you have more digits after, so it's further away from 0. So it's over here. Okay, so negative 0.6 repeated. But this one. Okay. And then this one is this. Okay. So far, so good? Okay. B, order these numbers from greatest to least. Record the number on a number line. Okay, so for part B, rearranging them. Now this one, it doesn't say how you need to. So if you want, you could change all of these into a decimal. It's okay to change it to a decimal and then just do the same thing. So to change it to a decimal, all I have to do is actually divide. So negative 3 over 8 is negative 0.375. 5 over 9 is just 5 divided by 9. So 0.5 repeated. Negative 10 over 4, so negative 10 divided by 4, negative 2.5. Okay. Negative 1 1/4. So on a calculator, what you want to do is either you could just do the small fraction and then put that negative 1 in front. So I could just do 1 divided by 4. I get the 0.25 and then negative 1.25 like this. I can write it like this, or I can change it to an improper and then do negative 5 over 4. Okay. 7 over 10 is 0.7. And then lastly, 8 over 3, 8 divided by 3, I get 2.6. Repeat it. Okay. So then now it's just like A, nice and easy. I know where the decimal goes in the number line. Right. I always like to do math the easy way, okay? Especially since it doesn't tell you to do it the hard way. Okay. What is the hard way and time-consuming way? If I were to compare all these fractions, what do I need to do if I want to compare fractions? Find the lowest common denominator between all of these fractions, and that's going to take a long time. Right? So this much faster, why not? Okay? Smart way to do math. And then just doing it on a number line is the exact same type, same thing. Okay, example 3. Order these rational numbers from least to greatest. Similar. It's the same, isn't it? Ordering fractional numbers and fractions and decimal form. Okay, so why don't you guys try this one? Right, try this one now. Okay, so what I did was I changed each one of these numbers into a decimal, and then I plotted it on the number line. Remember on your number line, you have to have a scale. You can't just put these numbers randomly. Like the spacing between negative 2.4 and 0.4 shouldn't be the same distance as like 1 and 2. Right? So uh, draw your number line and then space out the 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Just like later on when we do graphing, it makes a big difference if you don't have a scale. After that, you can just place it in the number line, and then you can see the furthest away from 0, that's the smallest number. And then furthest away on the right side to the 0 is your greatest number. So then I know to list it like this. Notice at the end right here, I put the original question. All right, because this was just a method. I used this method to help me get to the answer sooner. But then answering the question, I do have to refer back to the original numbers that I was given. Okay. How many of you got that? Same as me. Good, awesome. Okay, I do think I have a very strong class this year. Good for you. But as I said, like everybody does the math differently, and it's not a race. So if like even if half the class thinks this is easy and you are having trouble, it's totally fine, totally okay. Don't feel shy to come to me for help. Let me know that you're struggling so that I know the pace to adjust. Did I make a mistake in my math? Okay. I wrote one number line, and I put all the original answers on. Is that okay? Yeah, that's preferable. Yes, yes. I did it like this so that it's a little easier for you guys to see. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. You can just use one color. You can use several colors. You can use the fractions or decimals on the number line. Doesn't matter to me as long as you have this right here. Yeah. Yeah. The original numbers. So what I did was right here was I changed it, each of these numbers into their decimal. And then when I was writing these back in order, I just looked at this. This is a negative 3 through 3, which is the second one on my list. So it's just a negative 10 over 3. Because this one says record the numbers, order these from least to greatest. So there was a two-part to this question. One was listing it out from least to greatest, and the second part was recording it on the number. Yeah. Okay. I do want to do the 3 examples on page 34 as well. So the other 3 examples on here. Can we do it now, or do you want to try some questions on 32, 33? Do it now? Okay. Let's do it all at once then. Okay. So this is actually very similar to what we did already in the homework. But I would say this is easier because it's decimals. Right? So a question like this, technically I could just put it all in my calculator. Okay, but since this is math class, let's do the proper way. Looking at these questions, I need to do BEDMAS. What does BEDMAS stand for again? That was so in sync. Okay, so yes, if you heard what they said, they were like bracket, division. Okay, so BEDMAS, this is just the order of how you should do the math. Remember, BEDMAS can also be like BEMDAS or yeah. So remember, division, multiplication, they're interchangeable. Addition, subtraction, they are interchangeable as well. So right here, I can do the I should do the division and multiplication first before I add it. So as simple as it seems, we have a simple question like this on the exam, and somehow like half the people always gets it wrong. But it's just a simple BEDMAS question. So uh, just be careful. Sometimes the easiest questions is where you'll make the silliest mistakes. Okay, so doing this on the calculator, 1.2 divided by negative 0.3, you get negative 4 times 1.5. Okay, and then I do the multiplication first. So negative 0.8, negative 4 times 1.5, I get negative 6. So plus negative 6 or just simply minus 6. And then when you do this on your calculator, you get negative 6.8. Okay. If this question was a multiple choice question on the test, what's the fastest way to do this question? If this was a multiple choice question. If this question was on a multiple choice, what's the fastest way to do this? Using a tool. Yeah, just put it all straight in the calculator. So negative 0.8 plus 1.2 divided by negative 0.3 times 1.5. Do this all on the calculator and you'll get the answer. Okay, so be smart on the test because not every if you show your work for every single question on the test, you're gonna run out of time or you'll have no time to check your answer. So if it's a multiple choice question, just punch it in your calculator, you'll get your answer. When you check your answer at the end, then you can do it by hand to make sure that you didn't punch anything in wrong. Okay. Same thing right here. You can just do it all on the calculator since it's all if it's a multiple choice question. Right? So let's just say for the sake of the lesson, it's not, and we just do it all in order. So you do this part first inside the bracket. So 0.7 minus, you can put the brackets in if you're not strong with mental math. Right? Doesn't hurt. Okay. And then you get 1.9. So you get 1.9 squared, and then decimals, exponents first. So negative 3.2 minus 0.9 divided by 1.9 squared. 1.9. This is your exponent button, or this one on your calculator. Make sure you know where the exponent button is. To the exponent 2, you get 3.61. Right? Now I do the division. It doesn't matter with the brackets or no brackets. Doesn't hurt to write it. Negative 0.9 divided by 3.61. And then you get minus 0.2493. Normally with just 4 digits, it's good enough. It's good already. And then finally, the last part, negative 3.2 minus 0.2493. And you'll get your answer, negative 3.4493. Question I get a lot is, how do you know if it's minus or negative? Okay. If I were to read this out loud, how would you read this line? Vincent? Right. Okay, so when you said negative, that's how you know you should be pressing this button. And then when you said minus, that's how I know I should be pressing this button. So sometimes just reading it out loud makes you realize, okay, which button I should be pressing. Okay. Example 2, solving problems using the order of operation to convert the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. We use this formula. All right. This is very useful, especially when you go to the States. They use Fahrenheit. We use Celsius in Canada. So here, the temperature is negative 9.4 Fahrenheit. Is that very cold or very, very, very cold? What do you guys think? Just a quick estimate. Don't plug it in yet, but like just thinking about this, who thinks it's like uh, extremely cold? One person. Okay. Who thinks it's just okay cold? Man, you guys are afraid to guess. That's what hypotheses are. Like you just guess. There's no right or wrong. I didn't do the math either, so it's okay. If we're right together. If we're wrong together. So, uh, uh, no, Sophia, right? No, Claire. So Claire, good job. You were brief. No. Okay, Sophia. So Sophia, good for you. You were like the only one that was like, you know, brave enough to take a guess. Okay, so all we have to do is sub it in. When we do a substitution, what do we need? Whenever we substitute a number, what do we need to put around that number? Darshana, you look like you know the answer. Brackets, right. It's very, very, very important, especially later on when we do math that's longer. Whenever you substitute, you have to put it in brackets. So since this is Fahrenheit, I'm going to put it in here where it says F for Fahrenheit. Okay. And then right later on in the later chapter, we'll substitute it in the C right here, and then we'll learn more about like how to solve for a variable, but that's in the later chapter. Okay, so right here, should I be dividing first? Since BEDMAS tell us to divide, why do we do the top first? Right, this is like, it's like there's an invisible bracket around the numerator. You always have to clear your numerator first and clear your denominator before you actually divide. So it's, you can put an invisible bracket around. So negative 9.4 minus 32. I get negative 41.4. Divide that by 1.8. You get negative 23. What's my unit here? Celsius, right? So the degrees Celsius. So is that why you guys didn't put up your hand? Because negative 23 to some of you is very cold, but to some of you is like not so cold. Who thinks negative 23 is cold? I think so too. Okay, so Sophia, you're correct. Yay. Okay. Yeah, negative 23 is really cold. Usually in Canada, we get that temperature with wind chill. You're thinking more like negative 40. So welcome to Canada. Okay, so this one, again, it's very similar to the homework question that we actually have, right? Dealing with fractions. So this one, when you're given a question like this, then you cannot use decimals to cheat. You can use decimals to help you fortify your answer at the end, but for a question like this, where it's all given to you in fraction form, so here's the general rule. If the question has decimals, you can use decimals. If the question is all fractions, then you'll have to use fractions. Okay. Can we take 3 minutes to try this one? Okay, so everyone try this one, and then we'll take it up. This is similar to the homework that we did. Okay, so Derek says 8 and 1/4. Let's see. And I got the same thing. Good job. Okay, so those of you who got it, excellent. That means you did your homework over the weekend and you understood today's BEDMAS, basically. Okay, so just going over this really quickly. Some steps you can combine, some steps you can write it all out in full, up to you. So let's say this is a 3-mark question. So show me at least 3 steps. So right here, when I multiply across my fraction. So I get the positive 1/4. And then here inside the bracket, since I'm adding, subtracting, I need lowest common denominator. So I have the denominator 12. 3 times 4 gives me 12. So 1 times 4 gives me the 4. Subtract the numerator, I get 1/2. Right here, notice I see that, but don't change the sign yet. Don't jump into making it a plus because BEDMAS tells you to divide first. So you never know what happens right here. It could be dividing by another negative, right? So leave it like this first, even though it's tempting. Don't drop it yet. Don't drop the bracket. Don't change the sign yet. And then when we divide fractions, remember KCF, keep, change, and flip. So this becomes 12/1. Now I can multiply across. I get negative 24/8. 24/3 is just 8. So now this is just -8. I can change the sign now to just plus. So when I add it, I get a mixed number, 8 1/4. Okay? If you didn't see this right away and you made it an improper fraction, you could have did the 32/4 and then added, you get 33/4, and then changing it. It's fine. You just went in a loop, but you'll still get the same answer. Okay. All right. So for the rest of the class, you still have about 25 minutes. The homework. Homework. You can get started on the homework, page 32 to 36. If you look at it, it looks like it's a whole lot. There's like 30 questions there. I'm not gonna overwhelm you guys with the same question. So let's just do the even numbers. Even questions. Okay, so starting with number 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and then on the next page, 2, 4, 6, 8, so forth. Okay, so your homework is cut in half for you guys. Okay,